So over 50% of women say that they would give up sex for a year in order to be skinny.
In order to be skinny.
What does that mean?
It's a sad state of affairs on how we all feel about ourselves, really, is what that means. And that means that we would be willing to give up things that really should be bringing us pleasure and making us feel good about ourselves because we don't feel good about ourselves already. And that's pretty sad.
What is skinny for these women?
That's the question that I actually have. And I don't know that that's very well defined in the study. My guess is we're looking at skinny in the way that we look at it in the media. So we're looking at model type skinny, which isn't really going to fit every woman. So I think that to me is the question that every woman has to ask themselves. What does skinny mean to me? Does it mean being muscular and fit and really healthy? And and as Rebecca said in the segment, like maybe that's how we have to start to think about it is I want to feel and look healthy. And what does that mean? And how does that look?
But in a lot of ways, weren't we doing stories on how the media was starting to do a better job with that in terms of embracing the fact that, look, the average size woman is a 10 or a 12. That's what normal is. Normal isn't the size 2 model walking down the runway.
Right. But we still, though, see models dressed in size 2s and size 4s. Sample sizes are usually 4s and 8s. So they're still not the size of the normal, regular, typical woman. And I think we see more of that in some of the TV shows we're watching, but also what are those TV shows? If you look at something like Mad Men, where Christina Hendricks, who is fabulous and gorgeous and is a regular sized woman, but it's a show about the 60s, and that's what women look like. If you look at more of the shows of today, the women are still 2s and 4s probably. They're not 10s and 12s.
Women were saying that they were dieting as early as middle school and high school. That is alarming.
Yes, and it's still happening. And I think I've been reading a lot of different interesting things, and one of the things I saw was women generally are praised as girls about their appearance. Oh, you look so cute. Oh, that looks so pretty on you. Where boys are told, oh, you're so smart, or you did a great job in that game. And I think we need to start to shift how we praise our children so that our girls aren't only learning that they're praised based on appearance. So how can we do that? Because it starts young. They learn it young, and then we're bombarded with the media, and they're bombarded by these teen stars who are tall and thin or petite and thin, and what are they, what's their role model? What are the athletic role models that they have? What are the strong, typical sized women role models that they have? And there aren't a lot of them.
How do you change, though, that mindset for teenagers? Because let's face it, every young girl out there, wants to wear the latest fashion, look great, and they're competing with their peers.
Right. And I think it has to start when they're 3, 4, and 5, and has to start at home in building up what other things give them that sense of feeling special, feeling important, feeling good in their own skin. Everyone goes through it. Everyone has body image issues at some point. I think it's rare to find the person that doesn't. So I think in that issue, we have to just remind them that they're beautiful as they are, inside, outside, that it's not about the outside as much. And though we all get caught up in it, what other things do they have that make them feel good that they can rely on?
What can parents do who've done a great job of doing that when their kids are 3, 4, 5 years old, but now all of a sudden their tween daughter is coming home in tears from bullies at school?
And it will happen. And the fact is that that's the age that it all starts. And I think it's about advocating for your kids. It's about finding ways for them to feel good. It's about validating that feeling. It's about recognizing that this is what it's like, but not belittling it. And I think that's the challenge is we all do, it'll get better. Don't worry. In that moment, that doesn't help. In that moment, what else can you give them so that they can pull on something that makes them feel good? Even if it's a little teeny thing that they can recognize is something that's positive for them. That's going to be more helpful than nothing.
And I'm sure all of these reality TV shows aren't helping either. Biggest Loser, just the name alone.
But Biggest Loser, is the name alone is not so great. Sure. And that really is a show about being healthy. So I think they don't ever talk about being skinny or being too thin. They really talk about making healthier lifestyle choices, being healthier, and you're looking at people who that's what they need and they don't know how to get it. So I think if we can start to shift all of our attitude towards more health and more health-related issues, then it's a different kind of a story. We all want to go to the gym and be fit because it's better for us. As young women, it's better for us when we get older. We can prevent osteoporosis. We can prevent health-related issues. For men, it's the same thing, heart disease, all those things. So if we can look at it as a health-related issue instead of a thin-related issue, maybe that'll make a difference. Who knows? I think it's how we encapsulate and view it.
You mentioned men. this can be an issue for men as well. They do have self-esteem issues, especially about weight, but it's not something that's really talked about.
No, recently in research, what's really coming out is how many more men are affected by eating disorders, how many more men are affected by kind of exercise bulimia that need to be at the gym for hours, steroid use, all that stuff. And we don't talk about it as much because we see it in women so much more. And I think it's a shame that we're not looking at it more, but we have to start looking at it because it's something that's really going to be more prevalent as time goes on.
What is a healthy way for people to look at their weight from a psychological standpoint and say, all right, how do I proceed the right kind of mentally healthy way?
First, ask yourself what you want to do. What's your goal? I mean, like with any goal you want to set for yourself, you want to figure out what that goal is. So figure that out first. And maybe it's going to a nutritionist and talking to someone who knows the field and says, well, your healthy weight should be this, and here's a diet plan and all that stuff. Because you might be at your healthy weight but not feel good. So then you want to figure out how to build in working out and getting exercise. But you want to know define the goal first, and then enlist people that can help you. Find support groups that maybe, Jenny Craig, Weight Watchers, any of those, Nutrisystem, anything where even if you can go to a meeting or find a buddy to help you out with, go to the gym, work with a trainer to set you up. People walk into the gym, they're afraid of the gym because they have no idea what to do. So find someone that can guide you and give you some programs, and then get going. If you can't afford a gym, but you have a Wii, get a DVD that's an exercise thing. But define it for yourself. What's healthy? What's fit? What's going to make me feel good? And then go there.
And also surrounding yourself with people, a great support group, and people who care about you and will not bring you down.
Absolutely. And when they are going to bring you down, because the fact is the research study also showed that there's a lot of women who sabotage other women in their efforts. It's pretty interesting because we want to be better than the next one.
Talk about being catty, huh?
Oh, yeah. Well, we want to be better. I want to look better than you. So I'm going to do what I can to give you that donut so that I can look better.
But in a lot of ways, though, if you can make that a healthy competition.
Yes. If you can make it a healthy competition and use each other to further it along instead of sabotage, that would be great. It doesn't happen that way as much as we'd like.
We've seen that occasionally with couples as well, right?
Yes. If couples can get on board together, great. And men and women have different ways of approaching it. And women get jealous of men because men can lose weight faster. Right. So it's really just figuring out how to turn it into a supportive environment that's going to help you reach your goal.
So what would be your advice for couples who don't know, who are undergoing this together for the first time, don't know how either of them are going to react, don't want the relationship to suffer, but want to give it a shot?
Well, keep communication open. When you're feeling that competition, talk about it. Don't just sweep it under the rug and be resentful and then, I'm the wife and my husband's supposed to be eating healthy and I'm going to be like, well, here, I bought you a piece of chocolate cake. I'm not going to eat it, but you should have that. We do that all the time. We don't think about it, but we do. So it's really taking that step back, being like, what's the end goal? How are we going to do this together so we have a healthy life?
Dr. Jennifer Hartstein, it is always great having you on the show. Thank you for coming. Come back again soon. It was great seeing you. Next time with another great necklace.
I'll work on it.